Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is 2025 now and I haven't vlogged, I haven't posted a vlog since last year. I did vlog the Sandstorm event and my lesson with Jeff Billington a couple of weeks ago, but unfortunately while we were up there my nana passed away and I tried watching back the footage and editing it and stuff, but I was literally crying in one of the clips and things, and I'm not enjoying watching it back, and I know I definitely it wouldn't be a vlog that I would like watching and looking back on in the future, because it's just like obviously something I now associate with a sad time. So I'm not going to post it. I've decided I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to delete the footage. George wasn't feeling his best. He actually jumped really well, but he just didn't feel 100% to me while we were there, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought maybe he needed his teeth done, but that's all being figured out now, so I'll update you on that in a little bit. I'm currently still in my pajamas. I also left all of my makeup in my home house, like where I grew up, so I have no makeup except like a few random bits at home, and when I tried to do my makeup this morning it's just come out very muddy and disgusting. Just ignore that. Anyway, I'm gonna get dressed and then I will chat to you when I'm ready. Okay, first protocol this morning, take my antibiotic because I've had a great start to the year and I have had a horrible chest infection. I still have a really deep, like, chesty cough. It literally sounds like I've been smoking since I came out of the womb. But the rest of my symptoms are pretty much gone away. I am a little bit like blocked up in the mornings, but it goes away pretty quick. So I'm on my very last antibiotic. I'm going to take that now, and then I'm going to pop Theo out in the field. The horses haven't been ridden since we came back from the Sandstorm event, so let's go down and see them and I will fill you in a little bit on why that is. So I got these boots and they're actually way too big on me, so they make me look like I have clown feet, but I can't find any of my other pairs, so we're just gonna have to wear these for now while we go and pop Theo out in the field. Hello Fred, good morning. It's a good morning scratch for you. Good boy. First thing you may notice in the background there is that I am driving a lovely little small car at the moment because my Jeep is gone to the garage. So I need to get a new, I think, fuel injector. So I don't have my Jeep at the moment. And I also need to get some repairs done to my box, which is great. Right, Theo, you ready to go out? So, to fill you in a little bit on the horses and what's been going on with them, why I haven't ridden, basically Theo got a little knock on his head when we were coming home in the box from Kildare, and there's a big lump that's still there, so we're not exactly sure what's going on. It's a hard lump, so now we have to get that x-rayed, but I have been given the go ahead to ride him without a noseband, so I think I'm going to start hacking him out a little bit again because he's quite bored. But yeah, that's why I haven't been riding him. He was super up in Kildare. He was really good. He behaved really well. I wasn't sure how he would take to being at like a stay away. And then poor George has an abscess. George, come here. Come on, say hello to your fans. Yeah, poor George has an abscess in his foot, which is, it looks like it was probably coming up for a while, and that might be why I just thought he felt a little bit sore. It's actually quite bad because he is still lame on it, and it's been like a week. No. But we've stopped poulticing it now because there doesn't seem to be anything else coming out in the poultice. I literally have like kettles and all sorts down here at the moment. So my vet and my farrier have both looked at it because the vet was here to look at Theo's head, and the farrier then came out and had a look at it as well. And the drop, I call it a drop, it's an abscess. I don't know where I've gotten this from. Is it an Irish thing? Let me know, but I always call it a drop. So it basically burst out through his heel, which means it probably travelled through his, either it travelled through his foot or he overreached and knocked himself. But he doesn't normally overreach, so that would be quite unusual. So at the moment we're thinking that it travelled through his foot and burst out through his heel, which means it would probably need to be investigated a bit further by my farrier. He'll need to have a little dig around and find the source of it. But he said first just to try hot tubbing and poulticing and see if it would draw everything out and if he would come sound. But he was still lame yesterday, but improved, quite dramatically improved from the beginning. So we'll see. We're going to give him another few days, and if not, we'll take the shoe off and try and investigate and find the source. But that is why George is still not being ridden, and it's so annoying because I felt really motivated. I have so much feed to put away. I felt really motivated coming back from the clinic. I was like, I actually really want to try and do some eventing with him this year, which is something I've always wanted to do, but I've never allowed myself to say out loud because Yes, hello. Because I don't want to say it and then never do it. So I feel like now I've put it out there, people can hold me accountable. I don't want to do anything major, but I would like to do some of the riding club events and like low level stuff. There's a lot of like unregistered stuff on in Kilgaichi at the moment and things, and I want to go to those. There was a cross-country clinic on with Mike on Sunday, which I was off and I wanted to go to, but obviously couldn't. So I'm hoping he'll be back in time to do some of the things that are on with the riding club in March. There's like a 3-week sort of thing where the first 2 weeks are training in like a little bit of flat work, shoulder jumping and cross country, so across all 3 phases, and then the 3rd week is a competition. So you're judged on, I think, like clear round jumping, but also like the style of the round. I'm not 100% sure. So I really want to do these things with both of them really, but especially with George. But I would like to take them both. I definitely want to take Theo to the training. I'm off for the first week, so we'll see if I'm off for any of the other weeks from work. Hello. But yeah, that was kind of like my plans for the start of the year, so we'll see how that goes. You ready to go out? Yeah. Theo knows that the boots mean he's going out, so he gets very impatient. This is the lump that I was telling you about. As you can see, it's actually quite large, but it's just a hard lump, and we don't know how to, we don't really know what to do about it, so going to get it x-rayed, just see is there a piece of bone in there maybe that needs to come out. Oh, I know you want to go out. Okay, let's get you going. There's a little bit of condensation got inside my lens and I do not know why. This is all Theo wants to do anyway. If you can see him rolling away there. Yeah, you can. Is that nice, Theo? You having a really good scratch? Oh yeah. Well, that's nice. Woohoo! Good boy. Poor George is very, very annoyed that he is not allowed to go out. I just had a look and his abscess still stinks, so I'm going to soak it again in warm water and salts, maybe a little bit of Dettol, and see how we go. But he is very, very, very annoyed not to be going out. We're about to try and harrow the arena, so I need to go and pull out a few holes. We don't have an actual harrow yet. So I pulled all the jumps and everything out to the edges, and we're going to try and use either an old gate, or we have like these green things. I can't really explain what they are, I don't know, but they're like, I think they're meant to be for a fence or something. So one of them, we're going to try and tie them onto the back of the tractor and just do a little bit of a DIY harrow job, because it is quite rushy now. It hasn't been harrowed since we put it in. We've rolled it a couple of times, so I just need to try harrow it so I can set up a grid. I don't even know if you can hear me. It's digs of silage in here. But we got our little DIY harrow going, and I'm just going to keep doing this for a while. I think this will make a big difference. The only issue with this DIY thing is that it ends up like this, and then you have to come and kick it all off. But actually it's kind of helping to level it out. This is why I really want to have a job where I could like incorporate office work but also outdoor work, because I love doing all this kind of thing. Love driving the tractor and all, like doing all the DIY bits. Yeah, I'm like the perfect farmer's wife. But anyway, I've just like kicked off as much of that as I can get off, and now we're gonna keep going because there's still plenty of bits to be done. Someone asked me the other day at work if I know how to drive a tractor, and I was like, yeah, but only like a really old tractor. Like you put in a modern day tractor, no. But if anyone wants to teach me how to drive one of those, I'd like to learn. Right, the harrowing is done. I just need to get the rake and go into the edges that we couldn't get into with the tractor, and there's a tiny hole here that I want to fill in with a bit more sand, because we do have plenty of sand over here. And then I was going to set up a grid today, but I don't think I have time, so I'll be doing that tomorrow. Trying to give you all of my updates. I actually have a new saddle. So this is Keelan's saddle here, but my stirrups are off it because Jeff Billington actually rode in these at the clinic. So yeah, claim to fame, keeping these. I got new stirrups actually. I'm trying these Lemieux Vector Control stirrups, I think they're called. So as you can see, there's a little bit of an incline there, which is supposed to be good for if you've got like issues with your ankles or knees, joints basically. And I've been riding in them, and I actually do think they help. I just had a pair of bog standard old like metal stirrups, no safety function to them at all. These ones do actually have, you know, the quick release bit on the side. But I actually do find my ankle isn't getting sore after I ride for longer, which is good. But this is my new baby. I got a secondhand Devaku monoflap, and I love it. It's really comfy to ride in, and it fits George the best of everything that we've ever tried, which is great. So very happy with that. The thing with George is he has changed shape and size and everything so much in the last like 2 years that I've had him. 3 years, it'll be 3 years in May, constantly changing shape. And I've gotten saddles and I've shimmed them with half pads and stuff to make them work and blah blah blah. But this one was just causing him issues. It didn't fit him anymore. It was moving around a lot, it was slipping back, and I felt like I couldn't really get my leg on in it. So this is for sale if anyone is looking for a lovely CWD. I think it's 2020. Primary Performance recently launched in Ireland, and they asked me if I wanted to try some supplements, and I was very happy to try some with Theo because we haven't got him down to like a perfect routine of what exactly we want him on. And the vets have recommended I put him on a joint supplement just to support his joints because he is such a big elaborate mover. They were like, obviously when they move like that they're going to need, you know, extra help protecting their joints because they will put more wear and tear on them. He's only 6, he doesn't have any joint related issues, but I just want to make sure that he has plenty of longevity in him to keep going and doing all the things that he enjoys. So yeah, we put him on Performance Flex. This is more of a preventative measure, so I can't say that I've seen a difference because I didn't notice anything bad about the way he was moving and his joints and everything. He wasn't in pain or anything, so preventative purely. But I also put him on the Gut Ease powder. So he's never had ulcers or anything. George has had ulcers in the past, so I was like, look, we've never really put him on anything for his gut, let's try him on this because it says it's ideal for horses with digestive upset during times of stress, things like that. So we put him on it, and Keelan actually, I didn't really think anything of it, but Keelan actually said to me the other day, he was like, oh, Theo's poos look a lot more like George's now. And I was like, oh, didn't think anything of it. And then it dawned on me, it's probably this, must be this, because he has much firmer, more normal droppings now. And we took him away to Kildare, like I said, and when I took off the rug when we were up there, I expected him to be really tucked up because he was staying away from home, which was his first time doing that with us, and he was in a new yard, loads of horses around, you know, I didn't know what he was going to be like. He was so chill. He wasn't tucked up, like tiny, slightly bit, but not like dramatically awful like he normally does. So I'm really happy with this. I'm going to keep him on the 2 of these. Hello, Georgie. So I'm going to bring Theo in and ride him now. It is still bright outside and it is about 4:30. So we're definitely seeing light at the end of the tunnel. It's actually 5. 4 to 6 weeks ago it would have been almost pitch black now. So I'm going to give him a little school in the arena because, maybe I think I'll give him a hack today, and tomorrow I'm going to jump him down a little grid. I'm also just in the middle of filming a video for Reolink. So I got their Go PT Ultra camera and we set it up and have been using it for a little while now, and I'm obsessed with it. I have a collaboration coming with them on kind of Instagram and TikTok, Instagram Reels and TikTok, and I have a little discount code which will get you 5% off. But honestly, it's the best thing ever. It runs off solar power. There's a little solar panel, and then there's a small little SIM card inside of it, and you just get a data plan and use the data to run it. Hello everyone. Probably should take off my headphones. Just listening to an audiobook while I get the air jobs done. But set up a grid yesterday evening or the evening before last, I can't remember exactly, and I'm going to be jumping it with Theo today. So I'm going to flip the camera around, show it to you, walk the distance with you, explain why I have it laid out the way I have it laid out, and then hopefully the next clip will be me doing it with Theo. Here is the grid. I tried to make a nice simple grid for Theo because it's his first time doing one. I've jumped through like doubles and things like that with him, and I've done a couple of bounces on their own with him, but I didn't want to put bounces at the start of this grid because I just didn't want to make it too complicated for him. So I think this is a nice simple one to start him off. I have it all set up to show you guys the entire thing, and then I'm going to have to take it down and introduce it to him bit by bit. Like I'll start with the poles, and then a pole where the first cross pole is, and then I'll put up the cross pole, and then if he's okay with that, the next fence, and then the next fence. We'll just see how he goes. So to start with, we have 3 trot poles because I'm going to be trotting him in. He's an ex-racer. Rushing to his fences and getting a little bit quick is obviously going to be a slight issue, so trotting him in I think is a good idea. Right, I pan the camera down. I walk the distance in my grids a little bit differently to how I walk a distance when I'm walking a course. So when I'm walking a course, I obviously go in steps, but when I'm doing a grid, I do it in feet just to make sure it's nice and precise. And then obviously I can adjust it after I've gone through it once or twice, just see how it goes. So my trot poles are 4.5 feet. So 4 and about half. So because you're coming from a pole to the fence, you don't need to allow any space for landing because you're not going to be jumping the pole, hopefully. But you do need to allow a little bit of space for takeoff. So that's why we go 15 feet between the poles and the crossbow. Between the crossbow and the vertical, I put 18 feet because you need to allow a little bit of space for takeoff and landing. This distance is slightly shorter because you're going to be jumping out of trot, so you won't have gotten as much momentum up. And then I put 21 feet between the vertical and the oxer because you'll be jumping hopefully out of canter at this stage, so you'll have a little bit more momentum, a little bit more ground coverage ready to come into the oxer. That's how I set it up. Kind of depends on the horse and whether you're coming in and trot or canter. You know, there's lots of like variable factors, but that's how I'm going to do it with Theo. And obviously I'm going to be introducing it bit by bit. If I feel like he's kind of jumping through everything in trot at the start, we'll keep going until he's comfortable doing it in canter. Like, I could shorten the distance to the third one and just have that as a vertical today if I need to. I'll just adapt the exercise to how he feels because, like I said, I haven't done a grid on him. Beans, are you sick of being a yard dog? You just going to stay there while I ride? You nesting? That's okay. Good boy. Beans has officially been elevated to a free range yard dog. He was tied up all the time down here because he would just tootle off wherever he wanted to. But now he's a very good boy and he stays around and he has little naps and he stays away from the horses and the carrot. Okay, so I wore my mics, but then I got distracted by trying to make this a nice, positive, fun experience for Theo, and I didn't really talk through what I was doing. So I'm going to do it in a voiceover. So, to begin with, I just trotted him down through the line. I left the trot poles in and a pole where the first fence was going to be, and I came a couple of times off each rein just to see how he was feeling. Then we popped in the cross pole, which I can see now Keelan put up very wonkily. Anyway, popped him through the cross pole. The first time I knew he was going to be a bit like, whoa. And I should have given with my hands a little bit more. I've noticed that in a good few videos with Theo, but I haven't jumped him that much at all, so it's just really to get a bit more trust in each other. I also don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the vlog, but Theo would normally have a noseband on. However, he has a lump on the side of his head, so we have been riding him with no noseband. We've been given the go-ahead to keep riding him, but just kept the noseband off because it's more comfortable for him. At this point, we have introduced a vertical as the second fence. I always introduce it as a pole on the ground first and then have it put up to a fence, just so I can kind of confirm that the striding is okay. But I was really happy with how he was going at this point. So we've done the first two parts. He's jumping very nice, being very sweet. Just popping in, and he's got the hang of cantering out straight away. It's like a little bit short for him, but I prefer my grids to be a little bit short because it encourages them to come up in front. So I'm just giving him a little breather so we don't hammer him through it a million times in a row. We put a pole where the third part is, and if he does that nicely, we'll pop it up into a little oxer, a vertical first, then an oxer, and then if he does that a couple of times, we'll leave him because he's being very good. And if he does it nicely, we'll just keep him sweet. Do this once a week for a while and will help to strengthen him up. Oh, good boy. Don't go. Good boy. Oh. So I thought I'd leave this little blooper in here. Basically, I had absolutely no leg on and I made an absolute balls of it. And that's the most important thing with a grid is you just sit there nice and quiet and keep your leg on, and then they need to learn to figure things out for themselves, but you have to keep your leg on. He did start to get a little bit wiggly between the poles and the first fence here, and I was going to get one of my soft poles and put it down just on the left hand side to help keep him straight. But Keelan was feeling a bit lazy and he didn't want to go and get it. So that is something I will do in our next grid. I also know that I look like I'm turning very sharply, but he was kind of trying to really hang on the edge of the arena when we were up around that top corner. So I was trying to turn him a little early and keep him off the edge of the arena, so he actually had to listen to my leg and where I was asking him to go. However, looking back at it, I was kind of turning him in the air over the fence, so I should have started my grid a little bit lower down so I had more room after the fence. But overall, lots to like and lots to work on from that little grid work session. Just finished up with Theodore. He was actually really good. He got the hang of it so quickly, and he also has a nice little pop. Like, he's got quite a tidy front end. And obviously I kept him really small and he's tired, like he needs to build up his jumping fitness now. But he was really enjoying himself. The distance felt very short for him, but he does need to learn to actually sit back on his bum. So it's no harm for him to have to tuck up and get his legs out the way. So I didn't make it longer just because it was nice and small. It wasn't causing him any trouble. So yeah, I was very happy with him. I haven't really watched the videos back, so I don't know what they looked like, but he felt nice and tidy. And I'm going to keep doing grids with him like that at home now to really strengthen him up. Strengthen up the booty because it's taking a long time to build.
yeah, what do you think, Keelan? He's your horse.
No, he's good.
He's a good boy.
Well done, Theodore.
And he really likes it. Like, even if he only ever jumps, you know, 70s and 80s, he's still fun. I want to do a bit of cross-country schooling and stuff with him because he's super brave. And I just think he'd be like the perfect little riding club eventer type thing. Or a little dressage diva because his flat work is lovely. Good boy. Do you have a nice time? You're a little bit poop now. He was blowing at the end of it, and you see every jump we did, like, I gave him lots of little walk breaks and we didn't jump that many times, but he was just working hard. He was being a good boy. He did start to get a little bit rushy to the poles at the end, but he listened when I said no. He definitely needs a martingale for jumping. I actually have a martingale for him. I just forgot to put it on because we don't use it on him day to day. So yeah, but very happy with him. When we didn't have the arena, this was where I rode. So during the summer I rode there, and I will ride in there again in the summer. I think it's great to ride them in the field. But yeah, this is where I did all my first little bits of flat work with Theo and realised that he was very nice on the flat. We're just down giving Frankie and Cooper some hay. They've literally skimmed every possible morsel of grass off this field, but they're staying in here now until the grass comes through in the spring. So they'll be staying in here and getting hay every day, and then we'll be finding where we're going to put them next. This field is actually the field where we're going to build our house, way up the top corner. So once we start building, potentially this summer, then they won't be able to stay in here because I obviously don't want them right next to a building site, even though the bottom half of this will be staying a field. I put a window in our kitchen in the layout of the house, or I'm not even sure if it's going to be our kitchen, but a specific window that I want that's going to be overlooking this field, so when the horses are turned out, I'll have a really nice view to look out on. Anyway, irrelevant. I am going to end the vlog here. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it a little bit interesting. Hopefully it kind of shows you that, you know, everyone goes new year, new me, kickstarting all their goals and everything in the start of the new year every year, and that's not always going to happen. Like, I would love to have a great start to the year. I haven't had one, but I'm going to start from now. February, we're just disregarding January. The month is gone and we're going to pretend it never existed, and we're starting February. We're going to start our 2025. So lots of plans now for February and March, mainly March actually. February's going to be like training hard at home, and then March I've got stuff I want to do. So again, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel to see the next video, and I will see you then. Bye.